Cartoons, the animated frontier. These are the voyages of the Cellcast podcast. Its continuing mission to explore strange new cartoons, to seek out new animation styles and new creative storytelling methods, to boldly go where so few ever go again. Welcome to another episode of the Cellcast
Shorts.
Joining me today is a man who's about to get coal in his stocking. Welcome, Jacob.
Oh, frostbites. Why, thank you. I'd like to introduce a man who has gotten sick and tired of being not promoted. Welcome, Drew.
I just keep getting passed over and over. It's been 500 years. I can't stand Christmas from coming. That's not the thing. Anyway, moving on. How are you, Jacob?
I can totally I can.
We've all been where
yes,
this guy is.
Yes, been there, done that.
I keep wanting to say Manny. That is not his name. I've got it on my notes here. I don't know why I don't look there. Wayne. We've all been where Wayne is.
Yeah, we feel Wayne's pain.
Yes, the pain of Wayne. Because this is a shorts episode, we are going to skip our news and our what we've been watching, because literally we're recording this 2 weeks before you're listening to it. Yeah. So, jumping straight into the spoiler-free review, I believe the first time we both watched this was last year.
It was.
While we were over at a friend Wendy's house.
Yes. Thank you, Wendy.
She forced us to watch both this one and the second one, plus the short that we reviewed last year.
Yes.
So we were both pleasantly surprised, I think, on this.
Agreed.
And this is a fun short. I will say, much like I think we said on that short last year, it is a shame we never got a full movie on this.
Agreed. Completely agree.
So yeah. That's my spoiler-free thoughts. I know it was fast and short, but what do you got?
Fantastic. Just like when Wendy showed us this movie or told us, sit down, you're watching this movie.
Pretty much.
And wow. Just one, I had never heard of this. Never heard of it.
I had
2006, and I was just blown away.
I had heard of it.
Yeah.
I remember seeing the commercials. And I remember every Christmas, the Blu-ray 2-pack of this and the sequel being on the rack, having to stock that every year. I remember never seeing anyone buy the thing, which was strange. Which is, looking back on it, I find strange.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Other than that, it's short. I hate it that it's short, and I hate that we never got a full, like we said before.
Or a third one.
Our third one. We never got a third one. And apparently we're never going to get another one.
It's just so sad.
It is.
But anyway.
But other than that, I enjoyed this tremendously. I want to get the Blu-ray just to support it and give it more love because it needs it. You can watch this now on Disney Plus.
Yes, this and the sequel.
Yeah.
But not the short.
Not the short.
Which is weird.
All right, so yeah, that's my spoiler-free review.
All right, well, join us on the other side of the CGC bumper, and we will get into spoiling this thing.
Ray. Wrong? Okay. This progress is part of Christian Reek Central Network. Wrong. Hey, Scoop, what are you doing, man? I don't know. I'm supposed to be reading an ad. All right, hold on. Give me it. Okay.
All right. This podcast is part of the Christian Geek Central Network at ChristianGeekCentral.com.
There you can find a collection of blogs and podcasts working together to bring you some of the best content on the web for Christian geeks, such as the Strangers and Aliens podcast. Strangers and Aliens is a conversational podcast and blog that explores the relationship between God and man through the lens of speculative and imaginative fiction, and explores speculative and imaginative fiction through the lens of God's relationship with men. Join Ben, Dr. Jace O'Neill, and Steve McDonald, a trio of Christians who are both fans and creators of story, in their conversation about the intersection of faith and imagination. The following is a spoiler-filled review for the Disney special Prep and Landing. Listener discretion is advised. Prep and Landing was written and directed by Kevin Dieters, who also directed Olaf's Frozen Adventure, and Stevie Wormers, who wrote Tarzan, or was a writer on Tarzan. The music was by Michael Giacchino. He also wrote the music for Rogue One, A Star Wars Story, and Incredibles 2. He also writes the music for, like, everything anymore, it seems like.
True.
He's in a lot of this stuff.
He's the guy to go to.
Oh, yeah. Getting into the cast. Dave Foley played Wayne. Mm-hmm. He was Flick in A Bug's Life. Derek Richardson played Lanny. He played Harry in Dumb and Dumberer when Harry met Lloyd.
Okay.
The second one that's also not the second one. Weird. Sarah Chalk played McGee. She was Dr. Elliot Reed in Scrubs. Mason Vale Cotton played Timmy Turwelp. He was Arnold in Hey Arnold. David DeLuise played Dancer. He played a character named Bug in Third Rock from the Sun. That's the only thing I really found that really stood out to me.
Interesting.
I don't even know who Bug is.
Me either.
Peter Jacobson played Watercotte, the parking lot attendant, elf. He played Dr. Chris Taub in House. Lino DeSalvo played Gristletoe Joe. He had a cameo as Vinny in Bolt. And I say cameo because he was in the animation department for Frozen, Tangled, and Bolt.
Oh, okay.
Kevin Dieters had a cameo as a character named Brian. He was Clyde, and Kevin Dieters was the director earlier.
Okay.
He was Clyde in Wreck-It Ralph, the orange Pac-Man ghost.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I just lost my spot. Okay. William Morgan Shepherd plays the big guy, a.k.a. Santa Claus.
Okay.
He was the Rurapenthe Commandant in Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country.
Oh, okay.
I did not realize that was him until I looked at his face and go, "Oh, I hear it." Nathan Greeno played Dasher. He was Guard 1 and Thug 1 in Tangled.
Okay.
And Hayes MacArthur played Thrasher. And he played a character named Ron in She's Out of My League, which I have no idea what that is, but he did not have much at all. Kingdom Hearts Connections, Mason Vale Cotton also played the characters of Slightly and Foxy, the Lost Boys, in Kingdom Hearts.
Okay.
So what do we got in info and stuff?
All right, info and stuff. All right, so on its original airing, it had a 8.5 TV rating. Originally, it eventually dropped to like a 3.3 on its original airing. All right, so production, and I will get this right the first time. Walt Disney Animated Studios, Walt Disney Pictures, distributed by Disney ABC Domestic Television. It had a budget of $14 million. It originally aired on ABC Network. It originally aired December 8th. Well, technically, it was supposed to air originally December 1st, but then it got held back because of I believe it was a presidential talk on television.
So we can literally say, "Thanks, Obama." Oh, wait, this would have been Bush. Never mind. 2006?
Yeah, 2006.
Yeah, that's Bush. Moving on.
No, it was Obama.
It was Obama. Okay, thanks, Obama. My joke was right the first time.
It was Obama. It was President Obama. All right, so it aired then on December 8th, 2009. The special release on DVD on November 22nd, 2011, along with the short film Tiny's Big Adventure and Operation Santa Claus.
Secret Santa?
Secret Santa. Thank you. I read
Secret
that
Santa is one we reviewed last year.
Yes, it was.
It's in our top 10 most downloaded episodes
Yes,
right
I
now.
noticed that.
Which is weird.
That is very
I'm not
weird.
saying it's bad. I'm saying it's not how I expected that one to place.
All right. It was also released on DVD and Blu-ray of Prepper Landing Total Tinsel Collection on November 6, 2012, together with Operation Secret Santa and Naughty and Nice and Tiny's Big Adventure. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. That's all I got.
Josh Adams is pointing out in chat that 06 still would have been Bush.
Yeah.
Because Obama would have been 08, I think.
Possibly, but that was what I've read.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 07 or 08.
Yeah.
Whatever year. Yeah, 08. Thank you, Josh.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Getting into the summary. We're ready for summary. All right?
Yeah.
Okay. Wayne, a Christmas elf, is part of the elite organization known as Prep and Landing, whose job is to ready millions of homes around the world for Santa Claus's visit. After working with Prep and Landing for 227 years, Wayne looks forward to getting promoted to director of the naughty list. Instead, his former partner and trainee, Peterson, gets the promotion, and Wayne is introduced to Lanny, a freshly graduated rookie whom Wayne has to also train. Wayne is still bitter about the promotion and decides to slack off during the mission. He permits Lanny to do all the work, which is disastrous. Meanwhile, Santa is informed mid-flight of a massive snowstorm and that Wayne and Lanny haven't fully prepared the house yet. He is told to cancel the landing, which has never happened before. They promise to make it up for Timmy, a boy living at the house. Wayne and Lanny discover that the rerouting was the final decision, but after hearing Timmy thank them in his sleep, Wayne decides to fix it. He calls up Santa, telling him that he must land at Timmy's house. Wayne and Lanny then work together to land Santa safely on Timmy's roof. On Christmas morning, Santa shows Wayne that Timmy had a Merry Christmas. Santa offers a promotion to Wayne as the director of the nice list, but he turns it down so he can work with Lanny. What is your first like?
My first like was the absolute premise of this, the fact that Santa Claus would need a operations technical team to go in and do all the prep work before he came in, because think about it for 3 seconds. But like, if Santa just showed up, had no idea what was going on,
Yeah.
like he could literally walk into like some of the old stories of where a child wakes up and he discovers who Santa is. It makes it sense he would have a technical team to go in and make sure everything's fine before he shows up. Mm-hmm. And I just love that premise.
Oh, yeah.
So that's my number one, is the general premise of it.
My number one is gonna dovetail into that.
Okay.
But it's the fact of the entire elves operation.
Yes.
Not just Prep and Landing, which is a very important part of it.
Yeah.
But what is essentially traffic control, the whole setup for getting the sleigh ready to launch.
Yeah.
Especially revving the engines.
Yes.
The fact that everyone has assigned code names, which does make you wonder how often those code names get retired. The entire logistics of, see, here's the thing, I kind of have this weird fascination when I'm not looking at cartoons.
Okay.
To have an interest in logistics and how things work together. Christmas is one of those things I have thought about how this might work if with Santa's deliveries, let's say.
Yes.
But you really have no idea. So this interpretation of how the logistics works, and they go in how much detail they're able to go into on this for a 30-minute short.
Yeah.
I actually love and appreciate how much trouble they went into to get this to where it makes sense all the way through.
Right.
So yeah, my number one is logistics.
Okay.
What's your number two?
Excellent. Mine would be Wayne's dilemma of the fact that he is being passed up promotion. He's been doing it, like you said, for 300 years, and has to break in a new rookie.
Yeah.
It reminds me of, oddly enough, Sergeant Murtaugh from Lethal Weapon that he has to break in a new partner, which is Riggs. But Riggs be like, instead of being a veteran cop who's suicidal, you get a bumbling rookie who doesn't know exactly what he needs to do.
Right.
And I feel for the brother. It's like, man, be like, if you've ever worked in retail, if you ever had a job, and you just, like, if you've been there for any sense of time, and then you see everybody else go ahead of you, and you're just more like, okay, I'm getting really sick and tired of this. And you become so just like, you know what? I don't care. Not to say be like, I'm sometimes in my job it's that way, but it's more, okay, God has allowed me grace to be in the same job and all this good stuff, so I'm very grateful in that. There are just sometimes where I'm just
Yeah.
So yes, I totally understand where Wade is coming from. And so yes, that is my number 2.
My number 2 like is all the little inside jokes of all the Christmas specials Wayne and Cookie Santa are watching, including Mickey's Christmas Carol.
Yes.
Who we get to see the full clips of. So it's like, okay, that's a nice little touch to give you to connect it into other things. Oh, you like Christmas specials? Click. Oh, look, another one. Click. Oh, look, another one. Click. And then, of course, the cookie is stale.
Yeah.
When he goes to finally try to eat it. And then of course, what Santa says at the end, you know, Wayne, I'm not going to eat your head off.
That was perfect.
Bite your head off, I mean.
Bite your head off.
But yeah, that was perfect. Yeah, so yeah, that's my number 2 is all the little in-jokes past Disney Christmas specials.
Yes, agree to you that.
What's your third like?
My third like would be the reindeer. The reindeer. We're coming in too hot, man. We're coming in too hot. We can't pull out now, man. Just the idea these are like super athletes and just like it's like if you've ever been in a locker room, like you understand what kind of mentality that is. It's just like you get yourself hyped up, and the way they get hyped up is get a elf on a string with a prep talk, and I thought that was perfect. Like there again, logistics about everything about this film, this short film is perfect, and I love it so much. But my third like would probably be the reindeer. Just their banter. What is it? Dasher and Vixen?
Dasher and Dancer.
Dasher and Dancer. Just their banter the entire time. They're the only reindeer we hear talking.
Well, there was a third.
Yeah.
Thrasher.
Yeah, Thrasher. Yeah.
Who's a myth.
Yeah, he's a myth.
He's a myth.
Be like, if you tell anybody, I'll make you a myth.
Yeah.
That was great.
It makes sense because of all the reindeer, he's the one who absolutely has to be missed. Because as much as it's important for Santa to get there, it's much more important that Prep and Landing gets there and gets everything set up.
Right.
So, and they are the ones who can't be seen.
Yeah.
So, of course, it makes sense that the one that drops them off, Thrasher, nobody knows about.
Yeah.
He's a myth.
Yeah. So, yeah, the reindeer. The reindeer in this movie are just spot on, incredible, and plus the cast itself, which is amazing character wise. So yeah, that is my third number like. What is your third like?
My third like is Lanny. He is a lovable oaf.
Agreed.
He's the kind, we've all known this guy.
Yeah.
He's trying his hardest. He's very zealous about getting the job done right. He's just graduated at the top of his class from, what was it, Kringle Academy?
Yeah.
It was a very small class. He's zealous. He wants to do a good job. And who did he get partnered with? The guy who's tired and doesn't care anymore.
Yeah.
But it's because of Lanny that Wayne gets his Holly Jollies back, for lack of a better term. Gets a spark back. And I especially like the last scene.
Yeah.
Where he opens up the present from McGee. It's the fruit cake that
the coal elf gave.
Well, that the coal elf gave Wayne, who he gave to McGee.
Yes.
That then got passed on to Lanny. And it's still covered with coal.
Oh, I love it, McGee. That was
Thanks,
great.
man. Like, yeah, sure. Also, as much as I like Lanny, I have to throw McGee in here also.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, is there any better section of this than put me through to the big guy, or I'm going to tell everybody about you and Tiny. Putting you through.
That was great.
Oh, I should not have put him through. Oh,
It's like, wait,
figgy
what?
pudding.
Figgy pudding. Yes.
We have to do figgy pudding. Frostbite. I know her and I've been her. That is being in charge of that large an operation, even though I've not been in charge of that large an operation, is not fun. I'm sorry, it's not.
I'm not surprised.
It is controlled chaos. And it's something I hope never have to do again.
All right.
CSSing at the front of Walmart on Black Friday. Never want to do that again. Anyway.
All right.
First dislike.
It's not even the movie.
Yeah.
It's Disney. Disney.
I had a feeling this was going to be on your list somewhere.
Oh my gosh.
The fact that they abandoned this
They
property.
abandoned this project. Be like, you got to, what is it, like 3 shorts in?
2 shorts. You got 2 the half-hour specials.
Yeah.
And then 2 quote-unquote shorts.
Yeah.
Right there next to it.
Yeah.
It's like,
And that's it.
that's it? You had so much potential here
yeah.
that you could have played with.
And the fact that like you have Prep and Landing, you have so much you could build up out of this film.
I'm not even saying you had to make a Prep and Landing 3.
Yeah.
You needed to make an hour-and-a-half movie, make it official, and then release all your specials with it to say, this is what we're building to, and we don't care anymore. It's like,
Yeah. Yeah, we bought Marvel. We bought
we
Star
need to
Wars.
do. Yes. Didn't you see that? In 15 years, we're going to do the Lego Star Wars Holiday Special. Ha ha! Go listen to that episode.
Yeah. But yeah, just the fact that Disney dropped the ball and did not continue with this project, which is so good. Mm-hmm. I'm disappointed with Disney. Be like, I love the Walt Disney Company to death. Don't get me wrong. They have done amazing stuff with the products they have done.
Yes.
Just they
But
dropped the tinsel on this project.
And this was such a cool concept for
Agreed.
a thing, and it's like they don't care anymore on this
Yeah,
one. It's
exactly.
like maybe this was something that John Lasseter was pushing, and when he got ousted, maybe that's why this got dropped. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe Frozen happened, which is my suspicion.
Maybe.
But moving on.
Yeah, just Disney dropping, like I said before, dropping the tinsel. But you never know. Fingers crossed. Prayer, maybe they pick it up again and do something else with it in the future.
Yeah.
That's the hope and prayer. They might do something in the future. But at the time, this has been canned. So yeah, my first dislike is that Disney just let this go. So, yeah, what is your number 1 dislike?
My number 1 dislike. Remember how on my number 1 like I talked about how I love the logistics in this movie?
Uh-huh.
They made one major error
Okay.
when it comes to logistics. How long does Santa Claus actually have to deliver all the presents in one night? If you were actually to go by hours.
Okay. So, if we're talking about, like, 12 hours, at least. Or less than 12 hours.
No. 24 hours.
Yeah.
Because Christmas, it's the...
If we're talking about time zones...
International as soon
time
as the
zones.
international time zone, I recognize there are some places Santa doesn't go because they don't celebrate Christmas in some areas over there. But the first one of those areas, which, for assumption's sake, let's say Japan... I think actually New Zealand is closer. I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah.
Or Australia. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But say it's Japan. He's doing that when we are just getting up for Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
In essence. So you've got 24 hours. Well, not exactly, but you know what I mean? You got 24 hours. So Santa Claus has 24 hours to go all the way around the world. Yeah. Now, granted, you still got to be moving pretty fast to deliver to every house in a 24-hour period.
Yeah.
But that's not what they talk about here. They still act like they've got 8 hours to deliver this present, to deliver all the presents. And as far as we can tell, he only goes to Timmy's house.
Yeah.
Now, granted, I'm assuming just because of the short, they didn't have time to show him heading towards other places. But there is that one point where we see the radar and they're coming in for the landing and they're coming across 4 states to land on Timmy's house.
Yeah.
In the New England area. I'm thinking, you've got a lot of other houses you're hitting in that area besides Timmy's house.
Yeah. Has to.
I know you do. So the fact that they kind of, admittedly, they can't go into too much detail.
Exactly. They should have made this an 1.5-hour film.
I agree. This would have been a good 1.5-hour film by itself.
Would have.
But the fact that the logistics only really focus on getting to this one house.
Yeah.
And that's it. Noise deliver living daylights out of me because it doesn't go. I'm not asking for distinct detail.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, at least let me see him going to other houses, even if it's like he's getting closer sort of thing. Have him land on the White House to deliver presents to, I don't know. Does Bush have a daughter? Did Bush have a
Two daughters.
He had 2 daughters young enough for Santa Claus in 06?
Maybe.
I don't know. I don't think he did. But, I mean, something. So he's on his way. If Lanny and Wayne don't get their act together, they're not going to make it.
Yeah.
That's all I'm asking for. And kind of give us the idea. It's like, it's not 8 hours.
Yeah.
Because 8 hours is the general length of a night
in
these things. Technically, it should be 12 because Northern Hemisphere, and it's longer nights in the wintertime. But anyway, 24 hours is all I ask for that. Anyway, second dislike, do you have one?
Second dislike. I understand the animation limitations when it comes to these. It does have a fairly big budget. It is a $14 million budget.
Which is pretty big for TV.
Yeah, pretty big
for a half-hour TV special.
Yeah, the animation is good. There are some little... It's almost hiccup animation-wise. So in some cases where you can see the animation kind of... It drops a little bit. Here and there. But it's more... It's a very little nitpick when it comes to animation. And that can be either traditional 2D or 3D. You're going to have errors. Like, you look at the first movie we ever reviewed, Frozen. The fact
that had hiccups.
That had hiccups.
Well, remember Incredibles, where there's an entire scene that's not finished. That's in the movie.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So every film was going to have hiccups. You're going to have problems. And even this little short that has a very large budget has some hiccups.
But they're relatively few and far between.
They are. I agree. And that's why I say it's more of a nitpick.
Yeah.
Because there are some little nitpicks. I'm like, okay, that's not complete. Or it's be like, okay, there's a hiccup here or a hiccup here. But there again, that's what you do. You're a movie critique. You critique movies. So you look for every little nook and cranny that might be errored or a hidden gem somewhere. So yeah, just little animation errors.
My number 2 dislike. Why was Santa Claus able to make a turn around to go back to Timmy's house after talking to Wayne? Why was he... And he's the boss. He can do what he wants. But why did he not, as a matter of duty, as a matter of this is what you do as part of the procedure?
Yeah.
Why did he not inform McGee of him turning back around? Why did she have to find out by seeing the radar of him turning around?
Yeah.
That would not work in a plane.
No, it wouldn't.
Why is it working here?
It's like, yeah, you have to control it. You have to talk with Tower.
Yes. Even if
everything.
Yeah.
especially with this, especially when you have such a tight schedule that Santa Claus would have to do all this in one night. The fact that he has to turn around. And also, I have this other problem. This has never happened before, where it is impossible for Santa Claus to make it to somebody's house.
Yeah.
Now, granted, Santa Claus is magical. I have heard stories of Santa Claus making it to places in time in ways that just blow my mind.
Yeah.
Hearing him. But he is still, as magical as he is, human.
Yeah.
He's going to have to sometimes, and we know many of the times that people have lost belief in Santa Claus in these stories. When you hear these things, it's because Santa Claus didn't deliver.
Yeah.
So you're telling me this is the only time this has ever happened?
Yeah.
No, this is not true.
No, I would agree with you that.
It might be the only time it's Prep and Landing's fault.
Yeah.
Because Wayne had to go and be lazy and be on the naughty list because he didn't get his promotion. Boo hoo hoo.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's also a nitpick because I recognize what they're trying to say. Mm-hmm. It's just, no, Santa Claus has missed houses before. Yeah. He is human. Sometimes you just cannot get there. Now, he does his best.
Yeah.
But at some point, it happens.
Right.
Anyway, do you have a third dislike nitpick?
No, I don't actually.
I don't either. So let's go ahead and give this a rating.
Okay. I'm going to give it I'm going to give it an 8. Just how amazing, execution-wise, logistics, like you said earlier, how much detail they go in the logistics of how the operation, of how prep and landing, of how, I guess you would call it tower.
Yeah.
Now, granted, I'm not a pilot. Maybe someone who's a pilot that understands this better will watch this film and say, yeah, that's not really the way that works. But,
well, especially since, by all technical accounts, Santa Claus should be talking to every tower anytime he flies into somebody else's airspace.
Exactly.
Not just McGee.
Yeah.
But we have a half hour short, and we're trying to make it simple so everyone can watch it and understand what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why it should be an hour and a half.
Disney.
True. But more on this later.
Yeah. But other
we'll
than
get
that,
there when we get there next week.
Yeah. So yeah, it's an 8. It's an amazing little short that it grabbed my heart the first time I watched it, and the second time it's like, this is a freaking amazing.
Yeah.
That people need to watch.
Why don't more people know about this?
Yeah, exactly. Go to Disney Plus
and watch it.
Or buy the DVD.
Yes, it is available for purchase. Yeah. DVD or Blu-ray.
Yeah. Go watch it. It's good.
Anyway.
Yeah.
I'm also going to give it an 8.
Okay.
Everything that I've knocked it for, it's literally nitpicks. It's me looking for stuff because in the moment of watching the movie, I don't notice any of this stuff.
Yeah.
It's done in such a way where all the things you're looking for, it just kind of just goes, and it works and it's great. So yeah, I'm giving it an 8.
Okay.
So that brings us to the end of another episode of the Cellcast. Join us next week as we hit the sequel to this. The first time we've done a direct sequel immediately after the first one.
Yes.
Where we do Prep and Landing, Naughty versus Nice. So join us then.
Come, Jacob. We must prepare for next week.
Prepare for what, Drew?
The same thing we do every week, Jacob. Record a podcast.
Oh, boy.
So where can they find you, Jacob?
They can find me on Facebook at Jacob B. Heron and Jacob's Daily Art Corner, my personal art Facebook page. On Twitter at Jacob B. Heron. On Instagram at Jacob B. Heron. And on Letterboxd at Jacob Heron. Where can they find you, Drew?
You can find me on Facebook at Drew Dodgen. You can also find my Facebook page at Drew's Photo Bin, where I upload my photography. You can also follow me on Letterboxd at GGeorge759 and Twitter at GGeorge759. Where can they find us, Jacob?
You can also visit our website, thecellcast.podbean.com, where you will find every episode we released and links to listen to it on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and Stitcher. Our RSS feed, if we aren't in your favorite podcast app directory, please share, review, and subscribe to us there and share us with your friends.
You will also find a link to our Facebook group, the Double Feature Podcast Community, where we talk about both animated and live-action movies. We share this with our other podcasts, which we do with Jacob's brother Jim, at the Movie of the Week podcast, where we talk about live-action movies. You can also email us at thecellcastpodcast@gmail.com. Also, please like our page on Facebook. We try to post about upcoming movies. If you comment on that movie's post before we record, we'll read your comments in the episode. And remember, every time we say The Cellcast, that is with a single
L.